Hello, I'm Sora Lexon, and this is Tarot card 10 of Wands. Here we have a card of dominating energies being enforced, as the Lord of Oppression applies great force, overbearing force, to the task at hand. But these tasks, they're only ever material. It's a material task, and therefore it is a material earthly burden spurred on cruelly by the selfishness present in this card. Clearly, we have here a card advising of carrying a heavy burden. Too heavy. Someone who is biting off more than they can chew is often shown here. Perhaps they're doing this for all the wrong reasons, as they endeavor on, but only at the greatest energetic expense to themselves. Saturn in Sagittarius from 20 to 30 degrees is advising us of the matter at hand being unsuccessful, of oppression leading in the end to failure. This could be someone working too hard for themselves or for those around them with no hope of ever setting down their load before being crushed by it. The ego taking on too much from the start, being too grasping, thinking it can do too much, being too selfish. All of this culminates in the opposing force arising from such actions being far too strong, too polarized against the success of the outcome. The opposing force now present, because of the original overreaching, can't be controlled, and so the intended goal can't be fulfilled. The staves are going to clatter to the ground because too many are being carried at once to start with. There are too many tasks here, too much responsibility. The workload is weighing the worker down, rendering him or her far less useful. If nothing else, this individual is doing work for others that those others could and should be doing for themselves. Notice as the depiction describes to us this lone person struggling to collect and carry back to the village. But where is the rest of the community? Where is the rest of the villagers, right, to help? Nowhere to be seen. It's possible this role was taken on willingly, but that doesn't make the error better here, only harder for this struggling, well-meaning, or ill-advised person to recognize and correct before their back breaks. There feels like there are far too many obligations at play here. Too much work has been taken on. Avamel and Reyael rule here in Malkuth of Yod, the injustice of futile labors undertaken. Words like envy, feeling a need to take too much and therefore harming oneself with those gains that will be endlessly incomplete no matter how hard one works to prove themselves. A loss of self to self-created painful labors. Words like stubbornness, obstinacy, right? Refusing to admit that too much has been attempted, even if it means your neck and back will be forcibly bowed, bent into submission by that lack of humility. Some ill will, perhaps, the bitterness generated from a lack of calm balance, from way too much exhaustive labor, someone being a workaholic. Poor outcomes in attempted goals, intentions, and tasks. All of that is advised of in the Ten of Wands upright. So what to do if you pull the Ten of Wands upright? I know it said that this task is futile, but lean into it, right? Those staves, the wands, your rods, they're going to fall. Too much has been taken on one way or another, but you're going to need to go ahead and pick them all back up and carry on. Somehow or another, you signed up for this. This is what's at hand, so you better get it done. Muscle through, push forward. If the options are to collapse in the desert, where help is not going to come, or to just keep plodding forward back to the town and then collapse, you better just keep on carrying on, right? Drag yourself back there, step by painful step. Hopefully having learned your lesson well and thoroughly for next time to not undertake so much again. But giving up now, alone out here, that's not a solution you're going to like the fulfillment of. So keep on keeping on. Head down, eyes forward, keep going. The only way to direct the oppression being enforced here is to embrace it as a willing self-sacrifice to now do so. The Ten of Wands reversed. The Ten of Wands reversed is the sudden and full release of all these too great or too many burdens. This could be you choosing to do less for others, especially in those arenas where they are capable of doing those things for themselves, and instead make more time for yourself in a healthy way that will in the long run allow you to be far more productive than the weighed down snail's pace you would have been moving at if you continued to take on too much. It could be you laying down some of your extra projects, extra jobs that you've given yourself or taken on. Sometimes this is a wonderful thing. A liberation from oppression is freeing, and that's wonderful. But don't make the mistake of thinking the Ten of Wands reversed is always somehow positive, since its upright aspect just seems so intimidating. A lot of times new tarot readers will think that if an upright aspect is intimidating, then the reversal must be the better thing. That isn't always true. Sometimes the Ten of Wands reversed shows someone dropping everything with no acknowledgement of the harm doing so may cause. It can also advise a total lack of interest. An individual who's so entirely disinterested in seeing their responsibilities, work, or necessary obligations through, that it's going to create greater problems. Someone who will just casually release everything and walk away without any care in the world that they've done so, right? The moment things feel too difficult or too heavy, they're out. Is that liberating? Is it freeing for them? Sure. Is it a release of burden? Absolutely. That doesn't mean it's always a good thing or the best thing to do. Being disinterested in involving oneself in the situations at hand can cause all sort of its own problems. Taking a break from things is good if you're doing too much and if the timing is right. But be aware that dropping things before they're done or prematurely letting go of them, that isn't going to work out well for you with the Ten of Wands reversed. If you happen to be thinking of asking someone else for help right now in laying down your burdens, they're likely going to say no. So don't depend on that and don't let that be the culminating factor in making this decision for yourself. There's some space here for finding what you're currently doing or thinking you need to do that you actually don't. Something that actually can be set down or set aside because it isn't authentically as important as you might think it is. Just make sure that the things which are genuinely important aren't being passively dismissed by you or tossed aside errantly. There are too many tasks. So some of them can be let go. Just don't let go of the important ones, right? Of the ones that matter. Some of this tension here, it's going to be released, and it can be released in the Ten of Wands reversed. Just make sure it isn't the super important thing that needs to get done that you're choosing to let go of. The Ten of Wands reversed is a card of great release, right? Freedom, liberation, speaking to us of a need and comprehension of freedom from oppressive forces. Yes. Take some time and space away from all of your way too much, right? Your way too heavy daily routine, maybe. Take some space from that. Lighten the load. But don't overdo it to where you care about nothing and others are going to feel it and read it as lackadaisical, right? Be carefree, but not so carefree that you become careless. So what to do in general if you pull the Ten of Wands reversed? Overall, stop, release, let it go, set stuff down, reevaluate. Don't just keep pushing forward. Take a break. It's time to edit. You've overdone it. You took on too much. Admit that and drop something. You'll be better off for it. Until next time.